At TD Bank Sports Center here in Hamden, Connecticut, we welcome you to Northeast Conference basketball. This afternoon, the Knights of Fairleigh Dickinson visiting the Bobcats of Quinnipiac, the final day of the regular season before the NEC tournament begins this coming Thursday. Good afternoon. Welcome aboard. Joey Waller along with Terry O'Connor here in Hamden this afternoon. Thanks for joining us. And this a game in which, though Quinnipiac is the #2 seed, they've already got that sewn up entering that NEC tournament. Actually, both teams with something to play for here today, right?
Joey, FDU.
Look at the starting lineups, and FDU led by their senior point guard Mike Scott. Over the last few years since transferring in, has become one of the better all-around players in the league. They are coached by Greg Vitrone in his second year at the helm. Meanwhile, as far as the Bobcat lineup is concerned, they are led, of course, by big, burly Justin Ruddy, coming up on 1,000 career rebounds. It's a milestone he could reach here today. And their head coach, Tom Moore, the former longtime top assistant under UConn coach Jim Calhoun. And so Quinnipiac working it more patiently this time, and there's Johnson. He's the best three-point shooter in the league in terms of field goals made from beyond the arc, and doing it right there. It's 6-0 Bobcat. Over 5 minutes gone by. Knights still looking to score for the first time, and still they haven't, as that one is off the mark by Brian Smith. Back the other way. A little bit of a hot potato here. That one nearly stolen. Johnson again. Good again.
Proving his game, and certainly he has helped them.
Here's Greer with a tough shot, but he's got it. And FDU with a bit of a run here. They move to within one. They're pumped up here, Terry, this crowd in Hamden, because after all, as Ruddy returns following a rest, replacing Nate Thompson. This Quinnipiac team, they were the regular season champs in the league a year ago for the first time in their history, but fell short, losing to Robert Morris in the league final. This year picked as the preseason favorites, and they'll go into the tournament as the #2 seed, as we said, but they are thinking title. And so here's FDU showing the patience this time in the half court now with the 1-point lead. Under 12 minutes to go here at Quinnipiac. The quarterfinals of the NEC tournament just days away, coming up on Thursday. Here's Scott with a forced three, but he's got it, and all of a sudden, Terry, it's a new look offensive bunch, and the Knights go up by 4.
Well, again, they keep
Bobcats with the record of 20-8. We mentioned their second straight 20-win season. They're 12-5, second place in the NEC. Nice job by Johnson. That's James Johnson, and beautiful penetration, moving his team to within 3. Here's Greer, who comes off that career-high 34. Tyler Reynolds banking it. That's not what he had in mind, but he will take it, and so will FDU, which leads at 18-12 now.
Well, on the street, you got to call that one. He didn't call that, but we'll give him the 3 anyway.
I did not hear a call, Terry. Twyman, one of the seniors, who was honored earlier this afternoon as part of the Senior Day ceremony. It's always an emotional time, Terry. You know, having been a coach at Fairfield, that come Senior Day, it's really I guess an emotional day for everyone. The players know that things are winding down. The coach knows that good, bad, or indifferent, those guys are not going to be back. And I guess it's a time for some reflection for all concerned, right?
No question.
Speaking of scores, here's the one final up top with LIU blowing out Central Connecticut. And we're told by our producer that is not a misprint at halftime. Sacred Heart leading Monmouth by 30. Notice how I did the math very quickly there, Tim.
I didn't realize that you were that good with your math.
I'm normally not.
I didn't know you were a math major. Bobcats get a break there.
They do indeed. Here's Twyman finding the wide open James Johnson, and he takes advantage. Here is Fairleigh, the Czech product. He'll be back next year, handling it and sending it back out to Scott. Scott's really been looking to hoist in this one. Does so again and got it. Mike Scott giving his club a 26-20 lead as we approach 5 minutes to go here in the first. And Scott has 14 points here, Terry. He has exploded in this his final collegiate game.
Well, he's feeling it.
Justin, one of the great rebounders in the league and one of the very best in the history of this conference. Three-pointer by Reynolds. Oh, a brick that time, and rebounded by Justin Ruddy. So Quinnipiac by 6, under 4.5 to go. What an angle, and what a reverse that time, as it was Twyman somehow managing to bank it home.
Potentially he could easily get that record this season.
And the man you see listed 4th all-time in NEC rebounding, as Ruddy misses on both here, and it's still 26-25, FDU by 1. Obi Wadiki, formerly of Central Connecticut, what a rebounder he was. Listed at 6'4", maybe even a little bit shorter than that. He could really hit the boards with the bigger guys. There's a three-pointer off the mark by Brian Smith, and Ruddy underneath took her out.
Gets another rebound. And Obi, if he was 6'2", that was a stretch. I used to do some of their games too. Oh my God, they listed him at 6'4". No one thought he was 6'4". He might have been 6'4" around. He had a little body with him too, but not height-wise, but he could board.
He could indeed. That time Jackson on the miss, but Quinnipiac on the rebound again. At 16 offensive rebounds per game, the Bobcats #1 in the country in that department. Here's Ruddy against a double team. Now the shooting has gone cold again for FDU, and here's Quinnipiac quickly the other way. Twyman thought about it and takes a return. They want Ruddy again. They've got him off the triple teaming. He sends it out for this Langston jump. And off the rebound battle, there's James Johnson, the offensive rebounding. You're seeing it. Justin Ruddy pumping the fist. And coming up off the glass, his team up by 3. Quinnipiac, as we described their rebounding exploits, which are certainly a concern for that man, Greg Vitrone, the FDU head coach. Terry, they are, Quinnipiac, number 333 out of 345 Division I teams when it comes to average height, as Scott hits and moves his team to within 29-28. And so they not only put up the gaudy numbers off the glass, but they do it despite the fact that other than Ruddy, they don't have a whole lot of size at all.
Absolutely not. 6 feet, 5'11", 6 feet, 5'10".
Final seconds, Langston trying to beat the clock, cannot rebound. Ruddy! Well, folks, Justin Ruddy ending it with what we have discussed throughout this opening half, the great board work underneath. And Terry, anytime the announcers talk about it and the players go out and do it, it not only makes them look good, it makes us look good as well.
You know, he just seems not to go up strong enough with the ball around the basket. He gets a nice move, catches the ball down low, little fake and turn, but you got to be aggressive going to the glass.
Oh, well, speaking of which, beautiful transition, Terry, because doing just that, Deontay Twyman, and that the second very difficult layup that he has hit here today. Here's Scott, and that time off the mark, and the long rebound pulled down by Brown. Lance Brown, who didn't see much playing time in the opening half. Here's Twyman again, this time from deep. Inside, outside, Twyman hits again. And so here is Quinnipiac now leading it by 8, 36-28. The crowd now getting into it here in Hamden. Here is Scott, this the third college program he has played for, and inside against Verdlick off the mark, but getting the own rebound, missing again, and off the battle for it. Quinnipiac with Jamie Jackson coming away. Here's James Johnson leading for Brown.
It is a great family atmosphere. Come on out, bring the kids, popcorn, soda. Is there apple pie here today too? I missed that. I didn't think
it's
they had
an all-American event, Terry. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if it were not available somewhere in the building.
Well, now they've got to have about a 3 or 4 minute run, Fairleigh Dickinson, where they shut them out defensively, try to climb back in this game on the defensive end, and obviously get some points at the other side.
Dave Johnson in traffic, and yet again, deja vu all over again. It is Brown on the follow. Brown now has 6. And here is Quinnipiac leading it by 16 points as we approach 5 minutes gone by in the second. Tyler Reynolds giving a good look, couldn't put it down, and here's Brown saving it in. Does so beautifully to James Johnson, getting a hand from the crowd. Quick ball movement. Here's Ruddy with position on silent. Too easy, right, Terry?
Well, he just, it's a flash. Take the ball on your strong side up to the glass.
And even though he is as big and wide as he is, 6'7", listed at 255, he's very quick for a guy that size, right?
Well, he is.
And here's FDU trying to run. Silent getting the good look. Not able to hit. And rebounded by Langston. Back the other way. Breakout Dave Johnson in a crowd and hits. Quinnipiac picks first in NEC women's lacrosse. Here's Mike Scott off the mark as FDU's problems continue. Good job by Galvin battling inside, but again, those 50-50 balls belonging to Twyman and company. And here is Dave Johnson on the finish.
Everybody, the bench, the coaches, everybody happy when some of the seniors who don't get off the bench get a chance to get in and then get a couple of buckets.
Let's see if Tarka hoists it. Nope, he's going to play to his coach. Doesn't want to get yelled at, perhaps. And so he'll simply do the more conservative thing and run the clock out, but nothing conservative about Quinnipiac's performance here today. They win it going away by the score of 71-60. And this, Terry, just the way that Coach Moore would want his team to go into the postseason.